same I told you, man. Like, as long as you're breathing, the impact that you can do in this world in other people's life is limitless. There's no limit on the amount of impact you can do, and there's no ceiling on it.
Welcome back to Through Their Stride and my fifth and final episode of Strides Through H-Town, my series about runners from the Houston Marathon. This one is with Rafael Aguilar, a Honduras native and a Texas runner who just ran the Houston Marathon in 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 52 seconds. He said this build was one of his favorites, but not just because it went all perfectly. This was not sunshine and rainbows. He nearly got deported due to a law change back in November, and he had a breakup with his girlfriend a week before the race. There were a lot of trials and tribulations. He wasn't sure how this was going to go after all of this, but he pulled out a massive personal best and she was very gracious to share his story here. I was so excited to talk with him. I'm so excited to share with you his story. Rafa is a very nice and awesome dude. I think he'll probably be a good friend of mine going forward. So very excited for you to hear this. So strap in and I will see you later. Okay, so welcome back to Through Their Stride, episode 5 of my Strides Through H-Town series. And I am with, is it Rafa or Rafa?
It's Rafa. It's
Rafa.
Rafael, but you
Okay,
can call me
Rafael.
Rafa. Yes.
Awesome. So Rafael Aguilar, and you just ran the Houston Marathon in 2:45 and some change. That's insane. So I always like to have the guests kind of give a little brief intro of themselves. So can you tell kind of my audience a little bit about you and how you got
For
to where
sure.
you are in your running?
Absolutely. As you say, my name is Rafael Aguilar. It's a little bit Spanish. I go
Yeah.
by Rafa or Rafa. And Instagram, you can find me as Rafa Runs for my friends.
Yeah.
um, and yes, I was telling you off camera that I started running back in 2023 when I turned 25 years old. I'm not gonna lie, Sam. I felt I was 100. Literally, like the real life crisis hit me so bad that I just felt that I had to do a big change in my life. And in doing so, I decided to do the 75 hard. And one of the things about that challenge is that you have to do an exercise outside. So I decided to go with running. And ever since that day back in May of 2023, I signed up for my first half. Then I did the full. And long story short, now I'm here. Running is part of my personality, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, and it's incredible. I mean, like, to get to start only in 2023 and then all the way to 2026 running a 2:45 is amazing. When you started in doing the 75 hard challenge, were you that fast of a runner? What was running like for you at that point?
It was it's so funny because here in Dallas, there's a very famous trail called the Katy Trail.
Mhm.
And this is one of the most embarrassing stories ever. But for my plan back then, they asked me to do a 5K, and that's around 3.11 of miles in total. So, in doing so, I did it in the Texas heat in May. And
Oh
back
yeah.
in 2023, we had like 100 days there was 100 degrees. So I said, it's the perfect weather. Let's do it. And the worst part is that I finished it. The time was, I don't even remember, but it was kind of, I mean, it was my first 5K in a long time. Dude, I puked so
Oh,
bad close to my car because back then I didn't live so close to the Katy Trail. And I'm pretty sure some people saw me and they were just like, damn, that guy is not having a good day. Because
no.
indeed, I was not having a good day that day. But then I just kept showing up. I am happy to say that I was one of the first users for an app called Runna,
Oh wow.
sponsor this podcast, hopefully. um, and no, I literally had the beta version, and that's how I started training. I did a half marathon plan, a full marathon plan, and so on and so forth. I've been in
Wow.
6 marathon blocks so far, and they are really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love a marathon block. I didn't even know Rana was like a thing in 2023. That's
Yeah,
new info. Yeah.
and it's so interesting because at that point I'm all about processes. It might be since my parents were like that. I've always been very systematic in the things that I've done. And whenever I first started planning for the 75, I said like I need to put some incentives in the apps that I'm using and the things that I have in my phone. So I literally found Runna, and the programs they had back then were pretty straightforward. The ones they have now, they're definitely better.
Yeah.
But I decided to buy the entire year because I said if I'm going to do this, I need to be invested and I
Yeah.
need to show myself that this is serious.
Yeah.
And
And
now we're
and
here. I'm still paying for that thing. So 3 years
awesome.
down at the end of the road, it's still the same thing, man. Well, not even, but it's still fun. I like to use it. I compare it to some of my plans now, and it's
Yeah,
good to have like a second opinion as well.
for sure. That's awesome. And so with your in your background, so what was your kind of relationship with sports growing up? Can you tell me a little bit about how you grew up and just kind of your
For sure.
background?
I think in my case, sports have always been present in my life. And that is because of my, first of all, my mom and my dad, they've been really active. But my dad, he's an orthopedic surgeon, and he started working with a national soccer team from the city that I was from. And there's some pictures out there of me as a 5-year-old just walking next to the pitch with the soccer players. So
Awesome.
soccer has always been an important part of my life.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and my dad is the type of person that wakes up every single day in the morning, of course, and just goes to the gym. Or now he's playing paddle, but he just loves doing exercise. He's 60, and that guy looks 40.
Yeah. That's
And that's
awesome.
the same for all of my family members. We are really active. But then after that, I wasn't really good at sports for a long time. And I'm telling you, a long time, brother. I tried everything: taekwondo, basketball, football. I played volleyball, and I even started training with the Honduran national team. I shouldn't be there, but I was there just because I wanted to learn. Dude, it was a humbling experience. You should not train with pros. You should like stay at your level sometimes. Um, but yeah, I became a really decent goalkeeper, which is interesting because I was fast, and you don't really need a fast goalie. You need a tall one most of the times.
Yeah.
And I was always in the bench until my senior year of high school. The guy who was the primary goalkeeper, he decided to move to Florida, so it was my turn.
Yeah.
And what are the odds of that? That I literally said to myself, "This is it. I don't care what it's gonna take, but I'm gonna be a good goalie." And
Wow.
that was the shift that it was like a shift in my mind, that it was just like that confidence that nowadays I'm happy to say that I see in a constant daily basis, and just believing in yourself. And that season, I was the MVP of the team. I had really great clean sheets. I did great saves, but still, we were one of the last teams in the tournament. But I pride myself of that statement. And even the guy who he was a goalie back then, whenever I finished a marathon, he sent me a message and he said, like, "Hey, man, I admire you a lot, and that's really cool."
That's so cool. That's amazing. I love that story. I mean, like,
It was a
you
perfect
know,
circle moment.
yeah, I think a lot of people, they talk about this a lot. Now you've actually lived it. Saying that you're going to do something, like,
Yeah,
saying, like, if you say it and you keep saying it and keep doing the things to make it come true every day, you're going to do it. Like, maybe
yeah.
y'all were a last place team, but you were MVP on the team and you said, I'm going to be a good goalie, and boom, like, that's awesome.
No, absolutely. And the funny part about that is that the MVP is chosen by the team itself. So the fact that all of my teammates thought that I deserved that, that was back in 2017, almost 10 years ago. So you can even like right now, I'm getting the chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been so long, and I've been through so many sections of my life that after that, no sports whatsoever in college. Literally, I wish that I ran a little bit in college, but not at all. I
Yeah.
was more interested in going out, meeting girls, understanding that I had like a difficult career, which is industrial engineering. And I had to put a lot of time to make sure that I graduated and got a job as well.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, but and it hindsight's always 2020, I think, with college. Like we always think, man, I wish I would have continued up, continued this or did this in college because like where would I be today? But I feel like still it sounds like you put a lot of time into something that you loved in college and with your career, with your education. So, and has that shown up in your life, the work that you've put in since then?
Absolutely. And that comes in hand with all the work that my parents, my family have put in for me just to be here. It would not be fair to not mention them at all because literally every single one of my family members, and I'm not just talking like core family like my parents, but also my two sisters, my cousins that are like my brother and my sister as well, my aunt, everybody that has been supporting me that is so many miles away, and I still feel that I'm never alone, and that is something that not a lot of people will understand, but I'm happy to say that that's something that can happen. That can happen. It is happening to me.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then fast forwarding to your to 2023. So you said you wanted to make a change in your life. Where did that feeling of making a change come from? What was your life like at that moment? What was the kind of the decision point of like, okay, something's up. So I gotta turn this around.
No, that's such a great question, and I love thinking about the Rafael who was 24 and the one who turned 25. It was a crucial time in my life because back then the job that I had wasn't really my passion, and whenever that is not the case, you can notice it. But then as I turned 25, I said to myself, all right, I've been partying a little bit for too long. I look at myself in the mirror and I don't like the person that I see. I have zero structure in my days. I used to smoke a lot, which is very
Wow.
interesting too. I used to vape like crazy, and you will never see me with one of those things again. I'm quite the opposite person. I'm against all of that. And it's interesting to see that because like back then, the Raphael from then and the one from now, I don't think they will even be friends. They wouldn't
Wow.
have anything in common. But it's like that decision that I took. And don't ask me from where. I just felt that 25 was like, okay, this is a big deal. And now that I'm closer to 30, it doesn't seem like that crazy. I just want to be constantly getting stronger and mentally as well as physically because I would love to say that I would beat Rafael's butt in any race right now. That is the truth. I forgot to mention this. I also did a little bit of cross country back in high school, but those times are trash. Right now, I could give that guy a fight.
Yeah. That's amazing. And again, like that in 2023, you said like I'm going to change. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to turn this around. It's 25. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this decision. And here you are 3 years later, like 2:45 marathoner and like continuing to get better. And like, I mean, hearing that for you, hearing 2:45 today and I seeing it on the clock in Houston after these last 3 years of committing, what was that like for you? Just kind of hearing it, feeling it.
Um, I still don't believe it. It's been 2 weeks, and I still think about the race on a daily basis. I would lie to you if I said that it was easy. It literally, I decided to start trying to qualify to Boston in 2020, at the beginning of 2025. And I literally just finished the Chicago Marathon where I tried to break sub 3. I wasn't able to.
Yeah.
Um, and that was something that hurt my ego a lot. But at the same time, I needed that because that race is so nice. But at the same time, I had no control over what pace I was going through every mile. My pace strategy in reality was really trashy, to not say in other words. Um, and then fast forward, you move to the Irving Marathon back in March of 2025. That gives me around 3 months of training. I ran almost every single day before that, and I felt really, really well. But the reality was that my pacing strategy again was not good. Not at
Yeah.
all. Like I did the first split and I thought, "Oh, I feel strong. I'm going to feel like this forever." And of course on mile 20, that's whenever it hits you and you're like, "Oh my god, this is going to kill me. I'm not going to make it." But then an interesting thing happened after that. I was like, I need to keep fighting. I need to keep trying to get this thing because in Irving I got 257, which was the sub 3 that I wanted so bad for Chicago. But it felt so wrong since now my goal was 255 and hopefully qualify to Boston.
Hmm.
Once I didn't get that, I told myself I'm just going to try and get another race um before I could possibly put in the ticket to get into Boston. So I decided to do the San Diego Marathon, and that was my shortest block ever because the race happened in June 1st. I finished my marathon block in more at the beginning of April, so you can do the math there. So I remember that I trained in my birthday. I trained every single day. My birthday is on May 3rd.
Okay.
So
I'm
I
a May
spent
baby as well.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I spend every single day thinking I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And what was interesting here is that one of my best friends, her name is Kendall, Run Strong with Kendall.
Oh, God.
She's the coach, and she's one of my best friends. And she told me like, "Hey, I think you can do it, but you need a pacing strategy." And for the first time, I understood what a pacing strategy actually was.
Hmm.
And the one thing about San Diego that nobody really talks about is that it's downhill for most of the race until you reach around mile, I think it's 18 or 21.
Ooh.
All the altitude that you lose, you gain it again. So it's all through a highway. And the worst part is that at the top of the highway, they have a bell that you can literally hit whenever you know that you're going to be there because then it's downhill again. But it's such a horrible hill that my pacing strategy went really well throughout the race until I got there. Because then I lost my legs. Literally, I lost the strength in them, and in that trip, my dad came with me, and he said, "And I'm gonna be here. Let me know if you need anything." And as I was in the middle of the hill, I called him and I said, "Dad, I don't think I'm gonna do 255. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna try my best." And he said, "Hey, whatever happens, I'll be here waiting for you. Just be sure to stay healthy and get to the end." And I did 305 in San Diego. Again, no sub 3, no BQ. But that race taught me so much about myself and the capabilities that I had in order to become the runner that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And following that, I said to myself, all right, I need to take a break because this is taken a lot of, and again, like as I was going through it, I was coming through a lot of different things. I did my 5K BQ, 5K P personal best. Then my half was going pretty good as well. But after San Diego, I decided to take a big time just to lay back and say, all right, what can I actually do, or what do I need to do in order to become a better runner?
Mhm.
And after that decision, that was back in June, I started training for Houston in September.
Okay.
And dude, like it was the best block ever. Like every single thing that could have gone well, it did. But at the same time, so many things went wrong that you'll be surprised. I can go more into it if you want to, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
And then you hit, I mean, you hit your goal, but
it's
obviously.
there's so much into it. Like that
Yeah.
block. And that's something that I was telling Kendall. Like I'm having so much fun in this blog that I just don't want it to end because
Yeah.
it's so nice. I met so many great people. I had such a nice circle in my life that in general I felt so happy. It was so genuine. And then like everything life hits you and you're like, "Oh, all right. Interesting."
Yeah.
The one of those first things was that as I began my blog back in September, there were a couple of races coming up. So back then, that was in September. Yeah, it was September 22nd, the first day of the blog. So it was closer to October, November, December, January. So as we start in September, the blog started really well. I started like training. I decided to get a little bit more content out to see what could happen. I started working with a couple of brands here in Dallas. One of them being Grind, and they've been great with me. As at the same time, I started seeing that I could do a half, and that has been like a really normal thing for me, doing a half in between like marathons
Oh,
just to
nice.
know like where I'm at. And I also had two high rocks races, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to see how much I could push myself. So yeah, and that was I finished September. The blog was going good. As I was reaching October, I started dating somebody, and in my opinion, it was going really well, and that complemented the running. It complemented my life in a really nice way. Um, but at the same time, I noticed that my training changed completely. I was mostly running in the mornings now, and I used to be a afternoon runner, which making that shift was really interesting. I think everybody needs to do it at some point, and you're gonna notice that you're gonna get faster.
Yeah.
And my coach was constantly telling me that I was getting stronger. I had like that ability to keep going stronger. Halfway through October, I was in a really great spot in my relationship. Um, I decided to to keep seeing this girl, and then we went to a party in Halloween. Had a great time. And then I decided to do the half marathon in November 2nd called The Half. It's a half that happens in White Rock Lake here in Dallas,
Oh,
where
cool.
I broke my PR for the half marathon.
Oh, I thought you
Which
were gonna say like you broke something like a
oh
bone
no,
or
thankfully
something.
no. I mean, I'm gonna get there, but I broke my PR for my half marathon, which for me was crazy. I was just trying to do sub 120. Anything under that would have been great, and I ended up doing 118, which just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Um, and I felt so good because Grind supported me throughout the entire thing. My friends went there. We had such a great time, like with the people that I knew. Um, but something very interesting happened right now. I'm under a work permit, and with that work permit, it allows me to work legally in the United States. But recently, they changed a law,
Oh.
and I applied for the renewal, and it became an issue.
Oh.
So it was constantly being pushed and pushed and pushed. And I was like, all right, I have like, usually it took a month for this process to finish. So it was like literally in the back of my mind. So I didn't put so much attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we started doing high rocks. I had two events. It was one for myself as a solo pro. No, sorry, it was an open solo, and it was the open doubles. Where
Okay.
in doubles we were able to be first in our age group with my friend Jacob, and then for open I was able to be ninth as a age group,
Yeah.
which is still like I found it really impressive because it was my first one, and I remember that I
Yeah.
did an extra lap because I didn't know well how to count still
Oh no.
on the event. And at that point, my girlfriend of the time, she supported me so much, and I felt that everything was going perfectly. But then, like one of the first surprises that happened to me was that I was getting no response from USCIS, which is the system that we use in order to get all of that correct.
Mm-hmm.
So once they didn't respond, I started to get worried. And randomly, one day back at the end of November, after Hyrox and everything, they said that the policy just changed, the law just changed. So I was not longer gonna be given that permission unless something extraordinary happened. And once I got that, I was like, "Oh crap!" So all my life here, all my relationship, my friends, it's going to go to crap because like I'm gonna get
Yeah.
deported or something. Like, how is this even
Oh
possible?
my gosh.
So much. I put so much effort, and I truly try to be responsible with this type of things. And to make the matter worse is that in that time, I applied. Let's say it was like November 1st, and that law came into motion in October 28th. So if I've
Oh,
applied a couple of days earlier, I would have been fine.
oh man.
And I was talking to lawyers. I was sweating. I had my cousin's wedding, which we were going to go in December in Honduras. So I was just like, this, I'm not going to go to the wedding. Am I even going to keep my job? And this is where, again, life shows you how lucky you are because my manager, he was so good to me. He's also from Latin America, and he knows the entire process better than anybody. And he told me, hey, we're here for you. We're going to support you. So don't sweat it. It's going to be fine.
Awesome.
My family was 100% with me. Everybody here in Dallas that knew about it, they were with me. Kendall supported me. My girlfriend at the time supported me, and it was a tough moment in my life. But that literally only took 3 days because I sat down with a lawyer back in my job and I told her the situation, and she knew exactly what to do. So we started doing this plan. I had to pay a fee in order to make sure that my case was expedited. And 3 days later, I got an email. I remember that I was working from home and I got that saying that my case was approved. And I cannot even explain what that email did to me. Like, I have it saved because whenever I feel sad, I just see it. It's like
Yeah.
so. It's like if you took 1,000 rocks from my back and just threw them out. Um, and well, that that was we were saved on that one. Then we decided to do the turkey trot, and we did a 5K on the turkey trot where I was 11th with a time of 16:42 here in Dallas.
Amazing.
And again, like a lot of great things were happening, but at the same time, another different things were cooking on the back. Um, I ended up going to Honduras for my cousin's wedding. I decided to take my partner at the time, and if you ask me, we had an amazing time. We didn't fight at all. She met all my family. Um, and I might be sounding heartbroken here, but I really still don't get my head around like what really happened.
Uh-huh.
That was in the 17th. Then on the no, I'm sorry. We went on the 12th, and she came back on the 17th. I changed my flight to come back to Dallas on the 27th. I was originally going to stay in Honduras until the 3rd, but I
Hmm.
decided to come earlier. And one of the reasons being, well, my partner, the other one being that my cousin, which is like my brother Roger, he was moving to Switzerland for a job. So I didn't see the point in staying longer in Honduras because I was going to be really sad.
Yeah.
So I was coming back, last weeks of training, close to tapering. I came back and I noticed that my partner was being kind of distant,
Uh-huh.
and it truly didn't. I truly understand why. Like I was literally just being myself, and as I was doing that, she constantly appeared to be getting like more and more distant. And in my mind, I'm like, all right, what can I do to do this better? You know, like the marathon. I'm gonna try to to make a plan or something, and I'm gonna start to do different things. I want to show her what I am capable of, and she decided to end the things between us on the 4th. And as
Oh
you
man.
know, the marathon was on the 11th.
Yeah.
So what that meant was that on the last week of my marathon prep, I had ups and downs about like who I am. Is my value as a man really what I thought I was? Am I as strong as I think I am? And so many things went through my head. And I can assure you that now that I think about it, it was one of the best things that could have happened to me.
Really?
And
Wow.
that's, yeah, and that sounds like dark and everything, but it truly showed me where your mind can take you, especially if you allow it to do that exactly.
Hmm.
Because you're capable of so much, especially if you tell yourself that you're going to do a goal. I felt so confident in my training. Another thing that I didn't tell you is that whenever I came back, I got food poisoning, so that made
Oh
everything even
no.
better. So I was just here, heartbroken, vomiting,
Oh
a complete shit show, man. And I had a streak, a 200-day streak of every single day running broken because
no.
on my longest long run, I couldn't even like stand properly because I was like I had a fever. I was just like dead, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to the treadmill and do a mile and call it a day. But that was one of the greatest things that I learned from this like build was that it's okay. You can take a day off, especially
Yeah.
seeing your how your training has been coming. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So everybody hearing, please, if you don't feel so good, take a day off.
Yeah. Do not push it, especially with a
No,
fever. That's
no,
crazy.
don't push it. Like literally, and I did that in Honduras because that's another thing. Like I was training in Honduras, and it's not flat at all there. So I was getting extremely good at freaking hills. I ran in the treadmill so much. I was making my family pull treadmills that were full of like spider webs and dust, and it was just a horrible experience for them. But they noticed how freaking dedicated I was in this sport, and they all told me like, "Hey, we didn't know you like that," literally.
Yeah.
And but yeah, coming back, I had to change my hotel for Houston. I had all the reservations already in place. My mind and my head couldn't really get around like what had happened. And
Yeah.
between us and your audience, I became myself again like 5 days ago, and I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
And it was all and as I was going through the marathon, I remember that I was extremely sad in Houston. I was calling my mom and my dad and my sisters and my cousins. And if anybody won in this build, is them. If anybody needs to win in life, it's them. Because the
Mhm.
support that they gave me, even though they were like miles and miles away, I never felt alone. And I also need to say that with Pegasus, which is running club here in Dallas, some of the runners were also doing the Houston, either the half or the full. They made me feel like I was part of their family.
Yeah.
And for me, that is worth a lot. Of course, my coach decided to also go to Houston, so we had dinner together. And the night before, well, it was 2 days before I went to get my bib. Extremely sad. I saw my name, and I just didn't want to think about my life here in Dallas.
Uh-huh.
As I was doing that, I was constantly trying to think more about the race, what I can do, what I cannot do. And for the negative, for and going back to the strategy, the marathon strategy, Kendall showed me what she thought would have been a better idea for the marathon. And I told her, like, this is really good, but I think we can be a little more conservative, and I can do more miles at the end faster. What that meant pretty much was from mile 1 to mile 11. Oh, I'm no, sorry, 1 to 10. I had to keep it at a 6:30 pace, which
Hmm.
for me is easy. But come on, it's at 6:30 pace. I was literally about to go crazy because I just wanted
Yeah.
to go, 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 and go. But no, I told myself, like, all right, this is what we need to do. And I was talking to her about it, like, in at dinner. And right after that, I remember that I went and put gas on my car, and I just started crying because I
Oh.
felt so overwhelmed with everything, all my feelings, like the pressure of the race, and all the things that have been happening in my life.
Hmm.
And I just went that back to the hotel and started looking again. Okay, so from mile 1 to 10, that's 6:30. From 12 to 13, I'm gonna go 6:25, and then from 14 to 15, 6:20. 17 to 18, 6:15. 19 to 20, 6:10. And then from 20 to 26.2, which is the last 10K, I'm gonna meet God or Jesus or whoever, but I'm gonna get that thing between 6:05 to sub 6. I'm gonna, and Kendall told me that she was gonna be spectating in mile 18. And at mile 18, I was like, all right, whenever I see Kendall, I just need to go, because after that it's just gonna be me, God, and the race. So
Yeah.
as I was heading over mile 20, no, it was at mile 17, I saw Kendall, and I was like, damn it, like this is too
That's
fast.
early.
That's too early right now. I gotta wait.
Yeah.
So I was like still thinking to myself, like, all right, this is okay. We waited for this. As I passed through mile 17, I remember that my strategy in regards to gels and all of that was to take I took 4 gels, one every 30 minutes. Yes. And it was like the salt pill, the gel, and I was gonna skip a water station. So yes, no, or depending how I felt. And mostly taking electrolytes, so Gatorade, because Gatorade sponsors Houston.
Yeah.
So that was my pacing strategy. And because in my previous marathons, I've noticed that I get two walls, not only the physical one, but my stomach literally started like going around
Oh.
itself and killing it. So I get to mile 20, and I'm like, okay, at any second now. Mile 21, okay, at any second now. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26.2, no wall.
That's amazing.
And it just goes back to me saying, okay, cool. So from mile 20 to 6.2, this is the last 10K, which is the great thing about going to Honduras. They all talk in kilometers. So that's why I wanted to think about it that way. Um, Everything aligned perfectly for me to do that. And as I was approaching the 20-mile mark, I told myself, like, okay, why am I passing this many people? I was
Yeah.
going through so fast that I started like going and seeing so many people. I remember that I saw an influencer that I know, Max Dyer, and I told him, like, hey, What are you trying to do? What are you trying to get? And he said, like, I'm doing sub 245. And I said, like, hey, that's great. I'm trying to do something similar. If you're down, we can try to stay together. That was at mile 19, and they were in a huge pack. And I noticed that they were staying behind what I needed. So I just told myself, like, no, this can't be. I gotta like keep my program to keep going.
Yeah.
So I did that. I passed Max. He ended up doing like 250, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and then at almost mile 20, this is mile 25 or 26, I started looking around, and I saw all the people from Pegasus, the run club, that gave me the second breath that I needed to continue. Once that happened, I remember that I was looking at everybody just screaming and celebrating. And another fun fact about myself is that my marathon playlist, I make it long enough for the race. So if I'm going for a 245, that playlist only lasts 2 hours and 45 minutes. But
Nice.
the thing that I didn't take into account was that what I had is a special like feature where it matches the song perfectly with one another. So it caught so much part of the songs that at the end that playlist is not really 245. It's more about a 236 or a 230.
Oh no.
I was literally running without music, and I was just going crazy. Like, and I'm pretty sure there's a photo out there of me just looking through my phone, putting like the music that I wanted to hear. And as I was approaching the very end, after like doing sub 6 miles for 6 miles, I knew that that was like the real race. So
Mhm.
I started like passing so many people. I saw some of my friends there as well. I'm like, what the hell is this? Am I gonna die or something at some point here? I don't really know, but I once I got to the finish line, I just couldn't believe it. I just took my phone out, started recording. I saw my time in my watch, and it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And of course, I called my family, and that's the moment where I broke up. My heart broke up into a million pieces just telling them that I did it.
Yeah.
Something that was so difficult happened, and I remember that I had some special pair of gloves that I bought. And at that point, I said to myself, I'm going to throw these gloves at mile 11, because that's whenever the real race begins. And this is gonna mean that I'm gonna let go of anybody that didn't choose me. I'm gonna let go of all the negativity that I've been having in my life. And I'm gonna let go of that person that almost didn't want to approve my case.
Yeah.
Which, now that I think about it and I talk to you, Sam, about it, it's just life, and it's such a beautiful feeling. But another thing that I've learned through it has been to be present, because and I say that, but I'm not really living it. I'm already on the next block, but
Yeah.
I'm just
Grind
trying
never
to.
stops.
Yeah, brother. Like I'm in a 5K improvement plan now, so
Awesome.
judge me if you want. But
No, not at all.
for the first time I spent, this has been the longest that I've spent without running, which has been 2 weeks, which is good because now I've been just thinking about myself, where I'm at, what really happened in my previous relationship.
Mhm.
And there's this running club that we used to go together. And right after the race, I went there hoping and expecting, to be honest, that she was not going to be there, but she was. And what I found interesting was that everybody there was telling me that I did a great job, and I loved it. It was so nice from them, because that's the one thing that I noticed here in Dallas, that that specific run club made me be, to a certain degree, who I am right now, because I got like different friends. They show me like different things in life, and we all met in a really healthy environment. So I thought to myself, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But then I saw her. She gave me some of my stuff back, and as she did that, she said, "Oh, I was following your race, and whenever I was doing that, I noticed that you did better than what you expected." And I thought to myself, like, "Hey, I appreciate that. I was," and I said to her, like, "I appreciate that. That's really nice. I was really motivated." But yeah, I said to everybody that I was gonna do sub 250, when in reality I knew that 245 was gonna be like the goal.
Yeah.
And that opened my mind in so many ways, because I noticed that there's two types of people in this life: the ones who play the music and the ones who listen to it. Some
Yeah.
of them might not like what you're playing. They might play something different. But if they don't take action into deciding what music they're gonna play, they're just gonna listen and not do anything about it. And
Hmm.
I'm not a well, I am a listener, but not in this type of metaphor.
Right.
I'm more of a player, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Man, I think I am so glad you came on this podcast. I
I,
think,
I appreciate it. And again, I went
yeah,
through this entire thing. I'm sorry if I went overboard or
no,
overshare.
no, no. We've got plenty of time. I was gonna say that, like, this is one of those stories that, like, shows, a build when a build is beautiful, and a portion of life is beautiful because it has highs and it has lows, and it teaches you the ability to overcome hard things and things that, I mean, like, your example is insanely hard. I mean, almost not being able to stay in the United States, getting broken up a week before the race and getting food poisoning. Like, you had all of these hardships and all of these, moments where it hit you and where it was, and I think the reason that you hit 245 um, was honestly because you know how to handle hard things now. I mean, and more than just running and having a setback in a race. I mean, like, life hit you as hard as it could. And I don't know if you've ever heard that quote from Rocky, one of the Rocky movies, and he's like, it's not about how hard you can hit; it's
You
about
can
how hard
hit
you can
my
get
heart,
hit and
you
keep
can
moving
hit, hit,
forward.
and keep moving
Yeah,
forward, because life is not always sunshines and rainbows.
yeah, and I mean that's exactly how it was with you. And I think I'm so glad you came on to share this
I
because,
appreciate it. No, I've been looking
yeah.
forward to it. I know that, well, you better than anybody know what hardship looks like. I've been looking through your stuff, and first of all, I admire you, brother, because sharing your story the way that you have been doing it is not for the weak. You're gonna see that everything is gonna be okay, and if by any chance it's not, you're prepared to overpass that. And that's the one thing that I've also learned, that difficulty is going to happen. People are
Yes.
going to notice that you're doing good, and some of them are going to get happy, other are going to get jealous, others are not going to like how bright your light is.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
We're back, people, after some technical difficulties. We're back.
No worries at all, man. So yeah, go ahead. You were talking a little bit about life and everything.
Yes, we were saying how life gets you. Life is difficult, and it's gonna bring difficulties. It's gonna give you good luck, it's gonna give you bad luck. Let me try and see. I don't even want to mess with it. Yes, let me. It's gonna bring you difficulties no matter what. In my build, I learned that I know who I am now,
Yeah.
and I'm I've been suffering, because that's the real word for it, after my relationship, because I thought that I knew somebody, but in reality, I didn't. But the fact that I was able to see that after the fact, is the biggest learning opportunity that somebody can give you.
Mm-hmm.
And more than that, right now that I have the time to hopefully qualify to Boston, right now that I'm in one of the best shapes of my life, I want to become stronger. I want to become somebody that others are proud of. I
Yeah.
hope that I am already that. And if I'm not, that's okay. The idea is always the same. It's the
Yeah.
same as I was back whenever I was 25. It's just get better day by day. I have my habits. I have my little things that I always have in motion to make sure that I don't mess anything up. I just want to do good at my job. Sometimes I do talk about running a lot, but I hope they know that I care about my job a lot. Um,
Yes.
as I said, like behind before we started recording, I'm a consultant for a hospital. I work for Christus Health and the
Hmm.
Performance Excellence Department. So we're trying to make small changes and make sure that those small changes stay and constantly search for try to be 1% better every day. And that sounds so cliche, but in reality, that's my job. And that's what other people should also try to do. Don't
Yeah.
try to eat an elephant straight away, eat it like one piece at a time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're, it's like another cliche thing, but if you're down like 30 points in a football game, like
Yes.
you can't throw a Hail Mary pass and suddenly get it all back. Like you have to, you know, every inch, every yard, every first down that you get, like you got to get 1% better. You got to, I mean, during the hard times, those are what's making you better. Like and I say it a lot and I hear it a lot, is consistency compounds. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah,
just consistent, you show up for yourself even when it's tough, like you're gonna be rewarded at the end of the day.
absolutely. And to add to that as well is that consistency wins over talent without a
Yes.
question. Of course, especially in running, you can see so many metaphors that show what real life is. There's so many people that I've met through running that I've been like, this guy is definitely faster than me. This guy ran in college as a D1 athlete. This guy is so freaking fit. There's no way he's a beast. But I put my work in as well.
Yeah.
I show up every single day as well. And I'm not a I'm not an athlete. I'm not like a pro athlete at all. Like I have other responsibilities as well. But the fact that I like to train, I like to coach people, I like to learn from other people and listen to them has taught me so much of who I can be and where I can and who I can become that thanks to that I can say to you right now that it's it doesn't matter who you're fighting. As long as you constantly show for yourself, you're just fighting you, man. You just
Yeah.
fight that one person that is looking at you in the mirror.
Yeah. And you're doing it for that person too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's another thing too. Like you and that's another different thing as well that people don't really tell themselves, and I suffer through this too. They don't talk about, dude, it's okay. Forgive yourself. You don't need to be so rough on yourself. You don't need to be the fittest. You don't need to be this and that. You are handsome. Tell yourself
yeah.
that you're handsome. Tell yourself that you look good today, even if you don't.
Yeah.
um, that those small positivity, those small wins are gonna take you so many places.
Yeah.
Especially whenever life is because life sometimes can be a piece of shit, and whenever that
For
is
sure.
the case, you just gotta remember your wins, remember your whys, and just understand that like everything is gonna pass. God has you here for a reason, and that is worth more than anything.
Yeah.
I love, my mom tells me that all the time, man. I'm happy that I was able to remember that quote because she's gonna be really happy whenever she listens to this.
Love that. Well, Rafa, when I turned on this podcast today, I was thinking, it was going to be one thing, the normal, like asking the questions. Oh, you got a PR. Oh, yeah. But, like, this has turned into such one of my favorite conversations, and hearing your
I
story and
appreciate it, man.
yeah,
I think I haven't been able to ask you any questions, which was also I have like my notes right here, but I just went through my thing. I think I had a lot to say, but I appreciate your space for giving me this opportunity to tell my story.
yeah,
Um, I've been looking and listening to the people you have been interviewing, and I was like, all right, what can I say or think about to make myself like stand out? And this is what I did. I was myself.
yep,
Literally, it says be you. So that's what
yeah.
I wanted to be.
And
Um,
yeah, I mean,
and
I think you were. I mean, like this has been a genuine and honest and like, yeah, this has been great. This has been one of my favorite episodes I've done.
I
This is
appreciate
awesome.
it,
Yeah.
man. But going and putting the light on you as well. We all know what's happening right now, and I think I touched upon it like before, but the amount of people that you're talking to, the amount of people that listen to you, that listen to your story, what's going on, that's worth a lot, man. So I must say that I admire you. Keep doing your thing. Don't feel that it's always gonna be like this. Everybody needs to have a little bit of bad luck as well. Some people think that that's only with good luck. You need bad luck as well. If you don't believe me, listen to this podcast again because I've been through some stuff. But brother, I think you're in a really great place in your life. Um, One of the last things that I can tell you about myself is that I need to go to the office every single day. I can work from home like once every 2 weeks. But I used to travel all the time for my work, and that was absorbing the life out of me. So going
Yeah.
to an office is not really like a big deal for me. But the thing is that if you see like the building that I work in, it's the parking lot and the building where I work in the eighth floor. And there's like a little path, and that is located in Las Colinas. So it literally, whenever you walk through it, you can see in the horizon a sun. And don't ask me why, but every time I feel that heat or like I look at it, I tell myself, I don't know what's gonna happen today. I mean, might I get fired or like I can get deported or whatever. I don't know what it is, but every time I look at the sun, I smile and I say it's gonna be okay. Whatever comes, whatever issues, problems, we're gonna work on them together. As long as I stay positive, as long as I stay myself, that's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And the same I tell you, man, like as long as you're breathing, the impact that you can do in this world in other people's life is limitless. There's no limit on the amount of impact you can do, and there's no ceiling on it either.
Yeah.
So with that, I would like to invite you for a run whenever you are available. I would love to help you with any plans that you have. I currently started recently my coaching business. I'm trying to get to 10 to 15 athletes by the end of the year. I'm currently at nine.
Awesome.
At the same time, another thing that I've learned from this entire experience was that I've noticed that I've been in several leadership positions in the several clubs that I've been in, and there's nothing where I can say like, "Oh, I this is mine. This is my thing." So, which is why this Thursday actually is going to be the first run for my run club called Brightside.
Yeah.
It's gonna be happening every single Thursday at Germany Park at 6:30 a.m. where we are trying not to be and again I know I said run club, but we're more of a running community where what we want to do is just get faster. I just want to train with people who get it.
Yeah.
And having people that have the same mindset, the same goals or similar goals as you, that's the only way that I've noticed that you get faster, that you get good at things, and you just gotta like stay healthy and stay strong. But that's one of the most difficult things there is.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw on your Instagram that you had started the Bright Side Miles, and I was like, I'm gonna be following that and hearing more about it now. Like, I'm actually from the Dallas Fort Worth area originally, so I'm from Keller, Texas,
Yes,
and so definitely if I'm up there on a Thursday, like I'm coming to Dallas to run in that run
absolutely.
club.
Gonna
So
be that's gonna be fun. I chose some of my buddies from around town, and in my mind, I was like, these guys are gonna be perfect for it because we recently went to Austin with some of my friends, and there's so many run clubs in there, but there was one specifically that I was like, they do such a great content. They show for their athletes, and they're here to train. I'm not talking about other run clubs or whatever because there's beef between them, and I don't really want to get into that. But
right,
one thing that I've noticed, and one thing that I said to myself before, is that I'm going to run clubs to run. And again, I started dating in one, but anyways, I started going to run clubs to run, brother. I'm here to train. I want to see people bleeding, suffering through it. And it was strange because for a while I didn't get that. And I
yeah,
went to a lot of run clubs and I found my niche. I found some of them that were in the same headspace as I was. And what ended up happening was that I became the fastest there. And then you're just like, damn it, now what? Like you're just thinking that, oh, it's gonna be like this always. I'm gonna be always the fastest. And then randomly someone shows up and you're like, all right, maybe I'm not. I just want to put myself in that situation more often.
yeah,
Stay healthy, stay strong, but I want to push myself more because I know that it can be done.
yeah, and it's
And funny
important.
enough, yo, was that?
Oh, I was gonna say it's important too to run sometimes with faster people because that's
Absolutely.
exactly the direct way to make you faster.
And no, absolutely. I was able to run with the person right now in Honduras that has the record for the fastest Boston Marathon in Honduras,
Uh huh.
which compared to other countries is a little bit is not as competitive, but it's still difficult as hell.
Yeah.
He did a sub 240 in Boston with all those hills.
Yeah.
So long story short, that's what I'm trying to shoot for. And if I can get that time, that'll be pretty cool. Be the
Yeah.
fastest in Boston.
That's awesome. Well, I will be following your journey and following that. That's you've made a friend and a fan in me. So
Thank you,
thank you
Sam.
so much.
Same here, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to run unfortunately because we got
No,
to start packing for a trip tomorrow.
no,
But I
that's
do
good, man.
appreciate you coming on and saying everything. You know, like I'm not one to shy away from religion on this podcast. So,
Mhm.
I feel like there are some people in life that are just like, you know, someone just puts you like God puts that person in your life for a reason in a moment, and like this conversation was like just that for me. So, just wanted to say I feel like you kind of blessed me with this episode. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Brother, I could say the same thing about you. Again, your story, everything that's going on, it's inspiring, and everything is gonna be okay, man. It's
Thank you.
okay. It's okay to cry as a man sometimes. Thank you for sharing your space. Thank you for giving me your time, and this was amazing. We should do it again soon, man.
100%.
Thank you.
And that was my conversation with Rafael Aguilar. Rafa, thank you so much for coming on. And thank you all five of you guests through my Strides Through H Town series. This was so fun to do. It was so fun to hear and tell y'all stories. And feel like I gained a little bit more in this little running community that I feel like we're all building together. So this has been great. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. Please like it. Please follow wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that's Spotify, YouTube, Apple, wherever it is. And please leave a comment as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.